Tonight on NewsVision, following President Trump's executive order, the future of DEI at the University of Miami is uncertain. We'll tell you how students are responding.
Students will rise up. Students will speak out.
Plus, a special reunion in one Miami neighborhood bay after one woman saves a neighbor's life. We will tell you why she's being hailed a hero. And later on, Miami students took to the field at Mark Light, stepping up to bat for the Canes baseball team.
I think it's important to allow the team, the players, and the student body to kind of interact a little bit.
All this and more on tonight's show. It starts right now. Good evening and welcome to the first NewsVision of this spring semester. I'm Christopher Perez.
And I'm Lauren Harrington. Thank you for joining us. On his second day in office, President Trump signed an executive order that seeks to terminate diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI practices in federally funded institutions.
The University of Miami removed all DEI program information from its websites last week and has released limited details if the programs will return.
Emma Balleste tells us more about the changes and how some student leaders are responding.
For University of Miami junior Luna Perez, who identifies with the pronouns she and they, diversity on campus is very important. That's why Luna, along with thousands of other students, was shocked when the university suddenly shut down all its diversity, equity, and inclusion websites without warning last week.
Yeah, I believe that this will definitely impact just the students that come here to our university. If they, if UM doesn't make it clear that they prioritize uplifting those students.
Students who may rely on DEI initiatives to find their community on campus feel helpless as access to cultural affair websites are currently unavailable. This sudden change in the university's policies comes as a result of President Trump's executive order, which eliminates federal funding for all DEI programs for government and public organizations. And despite the University of Miami being a private institution, it receives some federal and state funding, which Trump threatened to cut if the DEI initiatives were not abolished. The Trump administration says it's ending DEI to protect civil rights and merit-based opportunities for all people, a sentiment that some students agree with.
I think we should remain united. I think instead of seeing through colors, we should see through performance, through merit base. The United States is a country that everyone, regardless of color, race, identity, sexual orientation, has the same opportunity.
According to information from the Faculty Senate, DEI programs at the university have not been abolished, but rather rebranded to culture and belonging. But when searching for this initiative, no results are found. That has left many students frustrated.
It is definitely concerning that the university hasn't been transparent about these policies. We've seen the university take away gender-affirming healthcare just recently, last summer.
In a statement emailed to students on Monday, the university said, "External circumstances may shift, but our focus has long been on delivering results and having a positive impact on each other and on those around us." The administration is yet to return UMTV's multiple requests for comments. And now over 50 student organizations on campus have started a petition asking the University of Miami's administration to reaffirm support for minority communities.
Students will rise up. Students will speak out. We're not going to let this happen. Our homes, our institutions, we're the reason why UM is UM. And so they want to take away our education, we're going to fight back.
Emma Balleste, UMTV.
Miami is not alone in DEI program changes, and many federally funded universities may soon follow suit. But DEI are not the only programs facing change on college campuses. Universities that receive federal funding will also need to follow Title IX policies instituted during Trump's first presidency. These policies would exclude protections against discrimination due to one's gender identity and sexuality, which was a regulation added under former President Biden. But Miami never adopted the changes to Title IX because the state of Florida joined a lawsuit against the new rules, and Trump's new order guarantees they will not be.
The University of Miami is reinstating standardized test scores beginning in the fall of 2026, and that will end the test optional process put in place during the pandemic. Prospective applicants are now required to submit an SAT or ACT score with their admissions application.
I would say with families and students who are incoming, I know that they typically like the test optional just because it is an added layer of security, and I'm not sure how they're going to respond to it. You know, it was that way for many years.
The university says it is reinstating the policy to have additional data during the admissions review process, but administrators say they will continue to use a holistic process to review each application, with test scores being only one piece of the larger puzzle that include grades, extracurriculars, community involvement, and personal statements. And for current Canes, the University of Miami will be getting a little pricier next year. The total cost of attendance is projected to rise to $97,000 for the 2025-2026 year. This is nearly a 4% increase, equal to just about $4,000. Students will have to pay more in all categories, an additional $2,500 for tuition, and nearly $1,000 more for housing.
The University of Miami's Theater Arts Department finally has a new building to call home. But what's in store for renovating other school buildings? Amanda Mohammed tells us more.
Students at the University of Miami's Theater Arts program are celebrating the opening of a new state-of-the-art facility on the Coral Gables campus after holding classes in the First United Methodist Church on Red Road for almost 3 years.
It took a minute to walk to Red Roads because I couldn't take the bus because the Centennial housing, it was faster to walk than to wait for a bus route. So I had a 20-minute cardio exercise every morning, which was not great in the 100-degree heat in August.
With 2 stories and 1,500 square feet, the space offers theater arts students access to brand new voice practice rooms, dance studios, a black box theater, and more at 1228 Dickinson Drive across from the Centennial Village residential colleges.
Everyone is so much more positive now that we have this new space. It's so big and beautiful, and because we get to visit with other classes now, since everybody's here, you get to see more of your friends.
But as theater arts students get to experience a brand new set of facilities, another set of performers on campus are still practicing in less than adequate conditions. Back in April, UMTV reported on the deteriorating conditions of the Bertha Foster practice rooms in the Frost School of Music. We even conducted a mold test in parts of the rooms and found bacteria on the inside and outside of the air vents.
When I'm not able to get into a different space, I am forced to use those practice rooms, and they are not necessarily viable for productive practice all of the time.
But are there any plans to fix Foster's problems? According to a statement from UM's Facilities and Operations, the Theater Arts building was prioritized because the department was forced off campus after the demolition of Hecht Residential College, where it was previously housed, and, quote, the university actively assesses renovation needs across campus, including Foster, to determine how best to address concerns within the broader capital planning framework. With a packed schedule, the lack of transparency on facility updates only adds stress to these performers' lives.
It does put a dampen on my education when I have to use spaces like our practice rooms or have to go through the ringer just to get a space like a classroom or a rehearsal hall.
Even with the new building, theater arts upperclassmen like Jordan still mourn the time they lost without proper facilities.
We were under the impression that we would have a new building last fall, but because of Centennial and lots of construction projects that were happening with the same company, our building was put on the back burner. But I would say it was definitely worth the wait.
Amanda Mohammed, UMTV.
The University of Miami is mourning the death of one of our own. Dr. Catherine Freeman, a professor at the English department, passed away a week ago after being diagnosed with a severe illness over winter break. Dr. Freeman earned her PhD from Yale University in 1990 and was the author of 5 scholarly books. She taught at UM for 30 years, sharing her expertise and passion for literature with thousands of students. The university is planning an event to remember her in the coming months.
Close to 700,000 people die from heart-related diseases in the United States every year. But one lucky Miami resident recently survived a heart attack that could have been deadly. Emmeline Smith joins us live at Coral Reef Park in Palmetto Bay, where the near-death experience has become a story of hope and inspiration. Emmeline, what happened?
Here in the village of Palmetto Bay, Coral Reef Park is more than just a patch of grass and sand to the local community. It's a gathering place for visitors of all ages to connect and take a step back from the chaos of the 305. But just 4 weeks ago on the volleyball courts right behind me, a routine game of beach volleyball took a tragic turn. But thanks to the quick response of one woman, a life was saved.
Miami resident Ariel Monduli is no stranger to the volleyball courts at Coral Reef Park in the village of Palmetto Bay.
I've been going to that park for 25 plus years.
But on January 4th, Manduli's set took an unexpected timeout.
The last thing I remember was, hey guys, I feel a little faint, and then I passed out. And I went into cardiac arrest.
Lucky for Ariel, a guardian angel was standing by. Brittany Vera, who works for the Parks Department, sprung into action when alerted of the emergency, transferring an automated external defibrillator to the scene and beginning the process before first responders arrived.
And honestly, I told myself when I got on my knees, I was like, this isn't about me. This is literally his life right now.
Just 3 months ago, the village of Palmetto Bay updated the AED equipment in Coral Reef Park.
We recently, meaning December, we installed the new machines. And it needed an upgrade.
Experts say that when in a life-threatening situation, an AED combined with CPR is vital to recovery. According to the American Heart Association, bystanders only administer CPR 40% of the time and AEDs even less so.
I just hope that inspires people to get trained, or at least have some knowledge about it.
Vera was recognized on Monday at a Palmetto Bay Council meeting and awarded a plaque from the city. She was also awarded the Heart Saver Award on behalf of Cintas, the supplier and servicer of the AED found in the park.
Whereas Brittany's heroic actions not only saved a life, but also exemplified the importance of preparedness, training, and the power of community in times of crisis.
Thanks to Brittany, not only did Manduli gain a second chance at life, but a new appreciation for it as well.
I'm a big person of faith. I was there for a reason, because if I would have been anywhere else, not happening.
Following his time in the intensive care unit, Manduli was told that there was no specified cause for his heart going into cardiac arrest. According to the test, he was in perfect health condition. It's always a good idea to educate yourself, locate local emergency medical equipment, and get certified. It could be your best friend, your grandfather, or your father in that position, and you have the power to save their life. Reporting for UMTV, my name is Emmeline Smith.
Thank you, Emmeline. Coming up, supermarkets across the nation are missing one grocery staple. We'll tell you what to expect on your next grocery run. Stay with us.